Hello and welcome to this Google Hangout where we're going to be talking a bit about the upcoming summer tour of America. I've got with me Joey to discuss the game coming up against Club America late on, it's 4 a.m. here in UK time. And we've got a few questions to discuss about it. We've obviously signed some new exciting players who are going to be going on the tour now. Which players are you looking forward to seeing on this tour? Which of the new, we've signed 4 new talents already this summer, and hopefully we'll sign some more. Which one or a couple of them are going to excite you the most on this, looking to see on this tour?
I think for excitement value, I think you're looking at Depay because he has all the qualities of a star player. He's got tricks, he's got pace, he's strong, left foot, right foot, can score from distance. Great, number one in Europe for goals scored on free kicks. So I think for excitement value, Depay obviously, is the only really forward-thinking player we've signed so far. But for me, I'm excited the most about Schneiderlin because of his age. He's got Premier League experience. He's got the most tackles over the last 3 years. He does the dirty work, and he was a sought-after player by other clubs, I'm excited about Schneiderlin because I think that's Carrick's ready-made replacement, and it's not like you have to, wait around for him to get used to the league or settle in. Getting him in on this tour early and all these players in will settle them in. So I think those two, but all 4 signings are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely some fantastic signings there. Really do excite me. I've got to agree that the Memphis Depay one does excite me the most. Hopefully he can bring a lot to the team that we've really been lacking in that wide area over the right. If he's going to play out on the wing primarily and may even come inside as a striker at times in the coming season. So we'll have to see how Louis van Gaal goes in this pre-season tour. Maybe give him some minutes out wide and then give him some time up as the striker. So moving along, we've signed these players nice and early this summer. Last summer we had actually signed a couple of players, Herrera and Luke Shaw, early, but they were already coming in anyway. I think we pretty much knew that them signings were going to happen, whoever the manager was. But the other signings seems to take a while. But all of a sudden we've just gone bang and signed 3 players just right before we've gone off from pre-season. Do you think that's going to help us sort of get ready for the season? Because we haven't got that many games this time. I think there's only 4 pre-season games before we kick off against Tottenham. So it's important to get these players bedded in now. So that should help, shouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking before the video. I was bringing up the point that, there is no World Cup this summer. We had the Copa America where 2 of our players were there, and they're going to join the tour later. But Van Gaal got to start. He got a whole year pretty much, of managing, and he did a good job getting us top 4. That was the goal. And then he was able to scout. Last summer coming in, he didn't really – I don't know how his scouting system was. I'm sure he had players in mind from seeing him at the World Cup. He signed Rojo and Di Maria, who the Dutch team played against. So he had his whole scouting network set up. Getting these players in is massive, especially Darmian. He's English is a little rough, so hopefully the players will help him out. But you build that team spirit and that camaraderie on preseason tour because that's who you're with for what, 3 weeks. Night and day, you're with your teammates. You're getting to know each other. The new signings are getting to know each other. Schweinsteiger will be familiar with the manager, but other than that, he's the first German player who's going to suit up for us in a competitive game at senior level. So I think, and just judging from Schweinsteiger's Twitter, fans are taken to him already. He says all the right things. He's happy to be here. He's a good guy. You can tell that he's a leader, which is something we really, really lack. So if we can get, Ramos in even, the leadership will be night and day compared to last season. So, yeah, it is huge. They'll get to learn the manager's philosophy. They'll get familiar with the way he trains. Also the manager will have his idea of his best starting 11 going into the first game and his formation. We didn't know that last season. We started off with 3 at the back, went to the diamond. I believe we were playing, 4-1-4-1 with Rooney as the 1 midfielder. And then eventually, due to some luck, we kind of stumbled upon the 4-3-3 due to injuries and Di Maria's suspension and playing Blind at left back. So I think, it couldn't hurt. The only thing that could hurt is injuries. So hopefully they take it easy. I know that I've seen him say, I think that some players will play 45 minutes, actually, half, and then the other half will play the other 45. And then gradually their minutes will increase over the tour. So, yeah, this tour is huge because this is a big year. Van Gaal has spent almost, 200-some million pounds now, or something close to that maybe. And there's going to be more players brought in. So, it's a big year. We got to win a trophy. I mean, even if it's the Capital One Cup, we got to win some type of trophy this year because 2 years trophyless is too much.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I think there's not really much excuses this time because there's no World Cup and no new manager coming in. I mean, both these managers have given that as an excuse. I know, obviously, under David Moyes, it was absolutely shocking and anyway, but him coming into a new club, everyone was using that as an excuse. And then when Louis van Gaal come in and had the World Cup, they were using that as the excuse. But now there really is no excuse. I think we do need to start off the season straight from the off and really go at it. We can't afford a bad start this season. So I think that's great news that we've got 4 players in so far. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot more spending hopefully to come. I mean, we've got a lot of young players probably going to be on this tour as well. I mean, the likes of Pereira and Januzaj are going to be looking to get some game time. Do you think they can sort of make an impact here, or are you looking forward to seeing them play? I mean, because neither of them and a few of the other youngsters haven't got as much game time as maybe they would have liked. But do you think it would do them good to get some game time, maybe to bring them into the first team, or even possibly get them a move on loan to another sort of decent side?
Well, it'll be interesting because Januzaj is one that he wasn't here last summer on the tour because he made it to the knockout stages of the World Cup with Belgium. So I'm expecting Januzaj to have a full preseason. I'm expecting him to, I hear he's been in the gym trying to get stronger, ride challenges, similar to how Ronaldo was, the skinny, frail guy, and then he matured into his body, and he also did the extra work. So I'm looking for Januzaj to do that extra work. Players like Andres Pereira, he signed a new contract at the club late in the spring because there was rumors of PSG and Juventus that were after him. So we know he's talented. I think Pereira is one that could impact. He had a good summer tournament, or I don't know if he was in a tournament, but he did well for Brazil in the summer. And Jesse Lingard is one for me who I got to see him play last year against Liverpool. And he scored a goal, and he was solid all tour. And I was thinking, maybe he'll get a sniff around the first team, and he did. I think he started the first game of the season against Swansea at wingback, but unfortunately he got injured. It was out for quite some time before he got a loan to Derby County, I think it was. So Jesse Lingard for me is one player I want to see step up and get a chance, even if it's just an impact sub or a roll off the bench. But there is some talented players in the youth academy in our under 21s and reserves. So, yeah, it's a great chance for them to show the manager what they've got.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the Lingard one, it was a bit annoying that he got injured last year and then he went out on loan and he hasn't really settled in. I mean, but the fact that we keep bringing in new players all the time, it's a job for him to get into the team. Whether he goes out on loan or what happens, we'll have to wait and see. We've been hearing from Louis van Gaal in his press conference yesterday about the goalkeeping situation. And with this, I think it's a bit of an odd situation because he's come out and said that Valdez has basically got no future at Manchester United and he wants him gone now because he doesn't agree with his philosophy, and he refused to come on in I think it was an under-21 game last season sometime, which is strange that he's just come out and said it now. But I presume that we're going to have to at least bring in one new goalkeeper because he doesn't seem to want to give Andreas Lindegaard a chance. But I suppose he has shown a bit of faith because he's taken him on the tour. But he's also taken Sam Johnstone on the tour, which I can't see he's got much of a future at Manchester United, which is leaving De Gea as our only real recognised top goalkeeper that's going to play. If he does leave, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on the situation. If you think at least probably one goalkeeper is going to have to come in.
Well, absolutely, and there's talk about Sergio Romero, who has canceled or been let out of his or finished his contract with I think it's Sampdoria. He's Argentina's #1 keeper for the World Cup and the Copa America. But yeah, Valdez, it's an interesting situation because he's hit back on Twitter. He posted a tweet that said something, and then it said respect as the hashtag, and it was a bunch of pictures of the under-21 matches I guess he played in, and a picture of him with the under-21 squad. So, you know, it is what it is. Look, he's on his way out. I would like, and I would think the club and Van Gaal would like the David De Gea situation to be cleared up within the, relatively soon, because to get a new goalkeeper in is going to be tough because everybody's going to want to drive up the price when we come in. My first choice for keeper just broke his wrist or has a broken wrist in Hugo Lloris. So do you go into the say Dave does go, do you go into the year with just Lingard and you buy Lloris and wait for him to come back from injury? I'm not quite sure. I know that there's not a whole lot of world-class keepers out there. I hear Leno, I hear other names, but it remains to be seen what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, right now I think Lingard is a decent backup. So it's all centered around De Gea and what's going to happen with him if he leaves. Obviously there has to be one brought in. But right now, I don't think they need to bring one in. But it looks like they might with Sergio Romero.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be against Andreas Lindgaard. I think if De Gea does stay, I think the amount of times he's going to get injured, hopefully, are not too many. So hopefully he can play the majority of the games, because Van Gaal did keep faith in him last year and played him in every single game apart from that one game where he was injured against Hull. I mean, I know he did come off in that Arsenal game, but that was only due to injury as well. Apart from that, he played every single game. That included Capital One Cups, all the FA Cup games, including the ones against lesser opposition. So Louis van Gaal doesn't seem to mind playing a goalkeeper every game. So I know Jasper Cillessen has come up as one name, but personally, I don't think Cillessen should be given the chance to be the Manchester United goalkeeper, because he didn't seem to give too much faith in him when he took him off in the World Cup in the penalty shootouts. So personally, I wouldn't go for him, but we'll have to wait and see who does come in. But I think we will probably bring another one in at some point in the next few weeks. I don't know if you've got any more thoughts on other possible incomings that could come in while we're on the summer tour. Obviously, a centre-back and striker are needed, aren't they?
According to the papers, Otamendi is trying to force through a move. He's refusing to go back to Valencia. I don't like that he's not being professional about it. Similar to Rojo, similar to Sterling. I would like him to, be a professional. But it's a player that I think that they should go after. I think he brings quality. I think he brings leadership. Good in the air, can tackle, can play out the back. So for me, Otamendi, it seems that Sergio Ramos has gone a little quiet over the last few days, but I believe that him and David De Gea are intertwined. If one go, it seems like the club has taken a really firm stance on this, with Ed Woodward saying, look, you're going to give us Sergio Ramos or let us buy him, or you're not getting De Gea. It's simple as that. And if they go out and buy, I don't think they're going to go in with, who is there, Claudio Bravo, I think it is? Or is that Barcelona's keeper? I think it's Bravo. Or no, Keylor Navas. I don't know. One of the others is Real Madrid's keeper, right now, because Iker Casillas is gone. So I don't think they're going to want to go into the season with just him. And if they're going, it remains to be seen if they'll wait a year. But they could go out and sign, there's talk about Espanyol's keeper or a first choice keeper. And then De Gea is looking at it like, well, look at the way they treated Iker Casillas. I got my friends here, Mata, Herrera. And if we win and we win some trophies, or the team's looking really good, we're in the Champions League again, he might sign a new contract. It is strange, though. I think that not a lot of people have mentioned this. I remember seeing a rumor that De Gea wanted Iker Casillas gone before he, forced a move through to Real Madrid. And I didn't think that would happen on Real Madrid's end, but it seems, it has. So maybe, something will happen with De Gea coming up. Iker Casillas is gone. They forced him out. And I remember that being one of the stipulations that De Gea wanted, because he didn't want to to go there and have to compete pretty much. Even though there is no competition, he's the best keeper in the world for me, except for maybe Manuel Neuer. But as far as that, I think there's new signings. Obviously, we need a striker. It seems that Aston Villa linked us or put it out there that we were interested in Benteke, and that kind of scared Liverpool, and they put in the release clause because I think they were trying to get him a little cheaper. I personally said Charlie Austin would be a good option for me because Rooney's going to be the main man. He's the captain. I don't really want Rooney in the number 10 because I think Herrera is a better number 10. I think Mata's a better number 10. As far as creativity, Rooney's a different style of number 10 to them. I wouldn't mind, Rooney's going to play, so I'd rather Rooney score goals, put him up front. We saw remember that goal against Spurs? He can still get it done. He can still score goals. So that's why I said, they don't really particularly need a world-class striker, but it seems that Van Gaal wants a 20 to 30-year goal scorer. Ed Woodward will want a big name. Obviously, they brought in Falcao, didn't work. Van Persie. You think about the strikers, Van Nistelrooy and Berbatov and players like that. They want a big name coming in. So I can see them, going after Cavani, Lewandowski. Obviously, any of those players are quality, but I don't want to lose Di Maria for either one of them because I think Di Maria can have a huge impact on our team. So I think if you ask every United fan, it's center back and striker, and then they can compete for the league.
Yeah, definitely. If we get a striker and a centre half, we should definitely, at minimum, be competing for the league. Obviously, whether we win it or not is going to have to remain to be seen. But with the striking situation, the real problem there is if Wayne Rooney if we're going to play this one striker, it's going to remain to be seen if Wayne Rooney can stay fit for the whole season. Now, hopefully, he can stay fit for the whole season. But if he doesn't, then we're going to need. If he gets injured for even a month or two, we'd need a decent backup. Now, I think Benteke would be a decent player, but personally, I would prefer to have him as third choice. But that would never obviously happen because of the price tag that they want. And I mean, Charlie Austin wouldn't be a bad signing, but again, I would probably go for him more as maybe a third choice. But I think we probably do need a world-class striker to come in. But it's if we're going to play this just one striker, then and Wayne Rooney's going to be that man because he's captain. It's going to be difficult for someone else to come in and sit on the bench sometimes. But do you think he's still going to continue with the same formation? I mean, or do you think he will go to two strikers up front for certain game?
No way. I think he found that the 4-3-3, with the amount of midfielders we have, options. Like I was saying on the Shreddy News video, when we play a certain team, we can play with Carrick, Schneiderlin, and then Schweinsteiger in the number 10 or a more advanced role. We can play with Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, and Herrera, Carrick, Schweinsteiger, Mata. There's so many options. So I think you need three midfielders out there, and I think it would be a crime not to have them because you can still have, Depay out wide with Di Maria and Rooney as your striker. I'm really excited about it. I think 4-3-3 is the way to go. It's my favorite formation. So yeah, I think they'll go 4-3-3. I don't think he'll change it. 4-4-2 is ancient, especially for the diamond. There's not enough width. We saw that against Leicester, I believe it was. And 4-4-2, the flat 4-4-2 is just outdated. It's old. Manchester City use it, or were using it, and you saw what happened. And as I remember, when David Moyes used it, everybody called for his head and begged him not to play 4-4-2. But then when Van Gaal was there and he was playing three at the back, people begged for 4-4-2. So it's funny how that works.
Yeah, what I really hope is that we don't start playing that 3-5-2 formation again, which I think will be bad because I really didn't seem to like us playing. I mean, it can work if you've got the right players, but I personally don't think it's the best formation for us to go forward. And not many teams have used it at all in the Premier League, apart from Louis van Gaal, and it didn't really seem to work last season. I don't know if you've got any other thoughts you want to add on this pre-season tour or on the game against Club America. I mean, do you just want to see us go out there and get our fitness up?
For the first game, and the second game, because they're both low. I have some things on Club America. They're one of the most successful clubs in Mexico. They were second in the table last season, and they have a playoff for their champion, and they lost in the quarterfinals a few days ago, or last week. They beat San Jose in a comeback win, 2-1. So the first game for me is all about getting your fitness. Second game for me is more fitness and then match rhythm, because the San Jose Earthquakes are going to play off the ball. They're gonna they're an MLS side. They're not going to be as good as us. So that'll be good to get our match rhythm and our passing down. Get match sharp, and then the real test comes, because then it's Barcelona and PSG, and I would like to see full strength teams against them each in the first half at least, because they're top quality players for both of those clubs.
Yeah, you can't really read too much into these pre-season friendlies, because last year Manchester United beat LA Galaxy, I think it was 7-0 in about the first game of the pre-season tour. So
Real Madrid, Inter, Roma, Liverpool, and then we lost against Swansea on the opening day, and then drew against Sunderland, Burnley, lost to Leicester. So, yeah, you can't read too much into preseason. I like it more. People will overreact if they lose. They'll be like, oh, not the fuck, bring this player in, bring that player in. Just chill. It's all about fitness and getting ready for the season. It's all about the Premier League this year.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you've got any more thoughts you want to add before we finish up, or anything you want to say.
No, if just out to the Scousers, if they really think we were in for Benteke, and that really tickles their fancy and helps them sleep at night, and they think that we didn't want, or we got turned down by Firmino and Klein and Benteke, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah, do you just want to remind people about where to find you on Twitter?
Yeah, it's at Joey Tabor. You can catch me there. I'll be doing videos with you, and I'll be doing some things on Stretty News for the preseason.
Yeah, so make sure to check the Stretty News out as well, because Joey does do a lot on the Stretty News, and he's going to be hosting some of the preseason tour, maybe previews and reviews after the game. Let us know your thoughts on the preseason tour. Anything else related to the transfer news, and let us know if you've got any questions about any players coming in and our thoughts on it, and we'll talk to you all again soon.